Welcome to Staff Works Explained. In this video, we'll be talking about the Ethiopian Sudan SGR. If it's your first time here, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. If you are a repeat viewer, I thank you for the support that we have accorded this channel throughout. The governments of Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and Sudan have been engaged in several bilateral agreements for cooperation in a number of economic sectors. Among them is an understanding to jointly develop a railway line linking Addis Ababa in Ethiopia to Khartoum in Sudan, and then an extension to Port of Sudan on the Red Sea coast. The railway line is to be developed. The railway line which will be developed will be an SGR, standard gauge railway, with will follow the agreed routes from Addis Ababa along Awash, which is a market town in central Ethiopia in the Afar region, then to Kobolcha, which is a town in the district in the north central Ethiopia in the Bub Wall Zone, Amhara region. Weldia, which is a region in or an area in North Wall Zone, Amhara region. Proceed to Wareta, which is located in the Hub Gondar Zone, Amhara region, east of Lake Tana. Then there is Goder, which is a city located in the North Gondar Zone of Amhara region, north of Lake Tana. And then to Metema Johannes, or basically Motema, which is located in Godar region, Amhara region, border to Sudan. Then from there it will proceed to Sudan, Galabalat, Gadarif, Kasala, Heya, and then terminate at Port of Sudan. This distance is estimated to be 1,522 kilometers. The SGR project is linked to the planned development of special economic zones in the border regions of the two countries, and it is intended to enhance the production of local goods, industrialization, agro-processing, all meant to increase the existing trade links between the two countries as well as the neighboring countries. The termination of the line at Port Sudan provides additional sea access route for Ethiopia, which will most likely revive the full utilization of the Port of Sudan as an alternative import-export port. Ethiopia is a fast-growing landlocked country, and this country has always depended on foreign ports for trade. The Port of Sudan, for instance, handles about 98% of the country's imported export. There are several dangers that a landlocked country faces when it depends on a single port for most of its cargo. One is disruption of trade. This in an event that the port is closed due to reasons such as labor strike, political instability, or natural disasters, the country can suffer severely because of this disruption, and this could lead to shortages of goods, inflation, decline in the country GDP. Then there is dependence on one country, and in this case Ethiopia depends on Djibouti for the port services. This means that Djibouti has significant leverage over Ethiopia and can use this dependence as a bargaining chip in negotiations, leading to potentially unfavorable trade terms. Then there is the event of higher transportation cost. Since there is no direct access to the sea, landlocked countries have to rely on transportation through other countries to reach the port. This often results to higher transportation costs, which increase the cost of goods and reduce competitiveness of goods and reduce competitiveness of goods. Then there is limited access to markets, where relying on a single port can also limit the country access to international market. If there are limited shipping routes, it can make it more difficult and costly for a country like Ethiopia to trade. Then there is vulnerability to piracy. The shipping routes that the landlocked countries such as Ethiopia may be using to transport the goods to and from the port can often pass through areas which are susceptible to piracy, and this has happened in the past. So these are some of the problems that Ethiopia has been experiencing, and construction of a third gauge railway connecting Addis Ababa to the Port of Sudan is coming as an alternative, where Ethiopia does not have to depend on Djibouti for its trade. The standard gauge railway connecting Addis Ababa with Port of Sudan to the Red Sea has that potential to reduce that dependency of Ethiopia on Port of Djibouti. Both Ethiopia and Sudan benefit from this agreement, the agreement to construct the railway, and Ethiopia will find it helpful to have another site to handle its high volume of imports and exports. And Sudan would make great use of the extra railway to export its raw materials. Additionally, the development of this route is fundamental to enhancing regional connectivity, not only within the northeastern part of the continent, but also to the Central African regions, states of Chad, Central African Republic, and others. Once developed, the railway line will link to the Kampala, Juba, Addis Ababa, Djibouti corridor project and the proposed Lamu to Addis Ababa railway link, which is part of the LAPSET corridor development program. So far, some progress has been made as far as the construction of this, as far as the implementation of this project is concerned. There has been a grant which has been awarded to the two countries for feasibility study. The African Development Bank Board of Directors in January 2020 approved a $1.2 million grant to Ethiopia government to finance a feasibility study for this SGR. The grant from the from the African Development Bank, the group came from the lending arm, which covers 35% of the total cost of this project. The remaining will come from was to come from the NEPAD infrastructure project preparation facility, and this was in form of a grant, actually $2 million grant, and then each country was to contribute $100,000 for this activity. The 2-year comprehensive feasibility study into this project was to assess the technical, economic, environment, and social viability, and also look for alternative financing arrangements such as public-private partnership. The tender for this activity or for the feasibility study was awarded to CPSC Railway Advisors of Canada, and this company has been tasked to study the feasibility of the construction of this project, and it has already sent a team of rail specialists to prepare for the study and to determine the feasibility of this project. The component of this study include analyzing traffic and projections, engineering, design and development, environmental and social impact analysis, economic and financial analysis, institutional reviews, look into public-private partnership and project finance strategy. The feasibility study will help the Ethiopian Railway Corporation and also Sudan Railway Corporation to make a decision on whether to build the standard gauge railway connecting Addis Ababa with the port, and also look at alternatives which are available. There have been several agreements and memorandum of understanding (MOUs) which have been signed between Ethiopia and Sudan regarding the construction of this railway. One of the agreement is the Joint Technical Committee Agreement, which was signed in 2012. The purpose was to establish the Joint Technical Committee to study the feasibility of the construction of this project. There is an agreement on financing which was signed in 2016. The two countries signed an agreement on financing the construction of this railway, and the agreement covered various issues such as source of funding, repayment schedule, and interest rates. There has been an MOU on railway cooperation which was signed in 2017 between the two countries, and this MOU covered issues such as technical cooperation, capacity building, and development of joint infrastructure project. There has been another agreement on railway construction which was signed in 2019, where the two countries signed an agreement which covered issues such as route, technical specification of the line, and also issues to do with financing of the project. There is also a joint committee agreement which was formed in 2019 to accelerate the construction of the railway line. The committee is tasked with coordinating the various aspects of the project, such as feasibility study, financing, and construction. This committee, as the last meeting it held was in December 2022, where it discussed the feasibility study of the railway project linking the two countries. The meeting of the joint committee discussed the completion of the feasibility study of the railway, where the Canadian consulting company of the project, which is CPSC, took part in the meeting. In this meeting, the two sides stressed the importance of the project to strengthen the communication and economic development of the two countries, and the meeting also agreed on speedy completion of the feasibility study, seeking to jointly attract financing for the implementation of the project. This was to be the last meeting of the joint technical committee and consultants, where the draft study was approved. So those are some of the activities that have been ongoing as far as the construction of this project is concerned. Is still on the preliminary stages, where feasibility study will be completed, and then it will be studied, and then a decision on whether to continue the project and what need to be done so that the project can be expedited will be made. So thank you for watching this video. We'll be doing more videos as we get updates for this project. If it's your first time here, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, and thank you for getting this far.